just woken me up, inviting me to go for a walk so we can film content. Can't be asked. Oh. Let's go for a walk. Walkies.
What are you doing?
Stretching my leg.
I call it showing off. I call it showing off, not stretching your legs. Oh look, Nala wants to play. This is the team for this morning's hike. So we're going for a hike this morning. Been told to wake up at 6:30. So this one had a bright idea to take us for a hike. It's an hour and a half long this morning.
There's no better time for it than this early in the morning. It's still, it's quiet, air is fresh, and there's a really exciting hike that goes up through the Benares Hills, looks down into the San Miguel Bay. What more could you ask for?
He makes it sound so poetic. Still can't be asked.
Our muscles will find it poetic, I promise you.
Come on.
This, at least for the pedestrianised part, is one of the most, listen to me, this is a very extreme incline, but the view at the top is like, you know, worth the payoff for this walk. But I will forewarn that once we actually go off-road, it gets even more steep.
Why? Why do we go steep at 6:30? Whatever time it is now. To be fair, it's a really good view.
Beautiful view here, the mountains, the sea, the boats, the bay. A reminder of why we should be showing gratitude all the time when you look at this. Right, that's all for the view bit on the main road. Now we go off-road. This is the bit of which I forewarned. This is where the rocks get rocky. This is where the incline gets incliney. And this is where the challenge that makes this morning hike something to really wake you up truly begins.
And when Nat hates you.
She loves it really. So this is where you get to the top of the off-road incline, and if we thought that view was beautiful from the road, having it here set with the trees as well, looking down at the beach, looking at the beach across from the other beach and seeing the Mediterranean at large. Again, all I can think is, as tough as the walk is, even though I tripped on an old tree branch on the way up, this is what it's all for.
What he said.
Amongst the flora and fauna that I've discovered, that I've noticed as walking around here, there's this kind of almost like a, let's say, bioluminescent kind of algae or fungi or something that is, because when doing this hike in the later evening, as it gets darker, you see that it kind of like emanates a little glow, almost like cat's eyes on the motorway, like lighting up our path. Really beautiful.
So there's a walk in Ibiza with my friend called Toby, and they do like a stargazing walk in the evening, and you start at like 10:30 till 12:30, and you go with an astrologer and you go and explore the wonderful sky of Ibiza, or the sky in general at night, with all the different stars and the explaining, and then the guy or the woman, I can't remember which it is, has like a laser pen in the night sky and like drawing around and showing you what all the stars mean and what they all represent. And yeah, it's quite a beautiful evening. There's about 100 people go usually. You just sit there with your flask at night and look up at the stars and gaze into the abyss, which sounds very romantic. And I was going to go, but I couldn't be asked. So we'll go next time and we'll take you with us.
The highest point of the hike, this old ruin that we found, and like the sun has been following us all the way round, and now it's risen quite high. But in there, this old ruinous place that's actually really so beautiful, even though it's kind of been like left to decay. We've got like a beautiful carob tree, some beautiful olive trees behind us and around us. And when we actually kind of like look into the ruin and like kind of look at the old orchards and things that were here, it really speaks to this as probably once been a really beautiful place. And I really wonder, like, you know, who once lived here. But again, these are part of the mysteries and the history of this island.
Indeed, I love a mystery. I'm just glad nobody's snapped it up, bought it and turned it into a 5-star villa, because that would have been really sad. Because it's beautiful looking at the ancient surroundings and how they once lived. And if somebody's fenced that off and stuck a Tesla at the front of it, it's not really quite the same vibe. So yeah, that happens quite a lot in Ibiza. But yeah, this is an absolutely stunning view. I didn't even know this is really close to our house, so now I know we can come up here more often. But this is what I love about Ibiza the most, is just it offers so much. When you go for a hike, you never know what you're going to find and stumble across. And there's so much history from the Phoenicians, and I won't even pretend to gas and say I know so much, but I should have listened more on the hikes that I've been on. But there is so much history on this island, and I think we should explore more of that, I think, as well, along our tour of showing you what we're doing with I Am Sound. But this in itself is just a lovely way to wake up and go for a hike, isn't it?
I'm glad you're taking to it now.
I know, even though I absolutely hated you at 6:30 this morning. I'm very grateful to be here, and yeah, feel blessed. So we are back after getting lost.
We took one wrong turning.
We did. It just happened to be a really fucking long turning that we went lost. But we went onto some private land and got told off by a man in a towel, and then decided to go backwards in the other direction. And finally we got home after losing Onyx, again, for like 15 minutes.
But he found his way home.
He did. He pigeon directions. So yeah, that was a nice walk that we did this morning. And we will do some stuff on sound at some point so you can see what we're actually filming. But for now it's behind the scenes until we launch. And if you're liking this, you can check out more on www.iamsound.tv and go and see what we're up to. See you next week.